Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like button and make sure you are subscribing. Some big content to show you here and some big opinions attached to it. Huge accusations being thrown at Jamie Carragher here as well. Let's delve into it. Let's listen to what he had to say first of all. Let's play the clip.
I mean, listen, he gets the penalties involved in the Fernandes goal as well. I mean, there's 3 or 4 players around him, and that's what great players do. You fear when he's on the ball. And I mean, I've been watching, I loved him last season. He started this season really well. And
he's talking about Cole Palmer. Just so everybody knows, he's talking about Cole Palmer.
I think I made a comment a few weeks ago that if you look at his almost 18 months at Chelsea, I don't think there's been a player in the Premier League who's performed better than him over these 18 months. And he hasn't been playing for the best team. I mean, they look like one of the best teams in the league right now. But when you think of Chelsea over the years and the great players they've had some great attacking players. But when you think of those flair players, I'd think of like Zola and Hazard. I think he's probably done more than Zola in these 18 months that he's done. You know, and Zola's probably going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play for Chelsea.
Big claim here from Jamie Carragher. First of all, Chelsea fans, better than Zola? Do you rank him above Gianfranco Zola? First of all. I mean, with the output and the quality over the next 18 months, if he does this for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and wins major trophies, you're talking about one of the best players potentially then in Chelsea's history. But Chelsea fans, I want your thoughts on this. And I think your opinions on that particular claim really matter. More on Jamie a little bit later, but the reaction from Liverpool fans, they have taken to this badly. They are fuming. They are angry. First of all, this is what Tom Little, obviously friend of the Football Terrace, posted. He said, "Oh, Jamie, if only there was a player in the league who, in the last 18 months has more goals, has more assists, has his team top of the table by contributing 75% of the goals. If only that player existed, they would definitely be ahead of Palmer. Oh, wait." Clearly talking about Mohamed Salah, best player in the league this season in many people's eyes, moving into those GOAT conversation categories. Liverpool fans are fuming with him. Fuming to a point. Now, this next tweet, over 13,000 likes. There was many like Tom Little's, but anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000 likes. This one here, 13,000 people liked and agreed with the statement. And it said, F you, genuinely F you and your racist little agenda against Mohamed Salah. He's been doing this, what he's doing right now, for the best part of 7 years. It's bordering on disgraceful. I mean, to be honest, if to the lawyers out there, I said if you think what Carragher's doing is racist, how can it be borderline on disgraceful? It kind of doesn't make sense in itself. But a lot of Liverpool fans backing this, that they think that they're exposing Jamie Carragher as a racist. He wants to put an Englishman in Cole Palmer ahead of Mohamed Salah. First question I have is, do you agree? Do you agree that there is racism, bigotry, xenophobia anywhere within the statement made by Jamie Carragher? Now, of course, this backs onto him criticising Mo Salah for calling out Liverpool Football Club recently for talking about his transfer situation and contract situation. He's condemned him for that. Why do you think that he's put Palmer here above Salah? Is it that? I'd love to get your take. For me, personally, I think it's got everything to do with Steven Gerrard. I feel, just my opinion, that even if it's subconscious, I don't think Carragher wants to overpraise any Liverpool player to a point where they may be placed above Gerrard in the hierarchy of Liverpool greats, especially in the Premier League era. That's just my take and opinion, but I would love to get yours. But what I also like about the Jamie Carragher scenario, praising Chelsea, everything else, but yet to address this.
Chelsea have just got to stop buying players. And players have got to stop signing for Chelsea.
I could be part of that.
Part of what?
Part of this young, exciting team that could be.
It's not a young and exciting team. It's not a young and exciting team. It's not a young and exciting team. It's not a young and exciting team.
Look, everybody out there gets things wrong. We all do. But this is a madness. This is a madness. And do you know what? I'll put myself into this. There have been times in the last 2 years where I've criticised elements and problematic elements at Chelsea. Their financial issues have been I've covered them intensively, but also stated that it was all going to be okay if they could get back into the Champions League and get back to challenging for titles and winning them. Always been aware of that. I've criticised some of their recruitment. But what I haven't done is go down that stupid road of they spent over £1 billion and they should be challenging straight away. No, that was never the strategy. Half of what they have spent was to buy youngsters, to loan them out, to resell in the future, to make additional income. Also, they weren't buying a multitude of players that were ready now. They were buying for the future to build a young team that they could develop. They were looking to create a strategy. They were looking to create a style of play that could live beyond any particular manager. And yes, they hired some wrong managers. Yes, they brought in some sort of sporting director, technical director types that didn't quite deliver what they wanted, but they moved them out quickly, moved new people in, but they stayed on the right course and that got praise. The problem with the Chelsea analysis is that it was always so polarized. They're finished, there's done, there's nothing going on, they're never going to return, it's awful. Or everything's okay, there have been no problems, it's all going to be right. And even though now, the people that said it's all right, it's all good, will say, I told you, you're still not strictly right. There were issues that needed to be addressed, but the way Chelsea were written off was crazy. So Carragher's doing all of this today, Palmer, and they're a really good team and everything else. When's he going to address what he said? When's he going to address the education he tried to give to the world as an ex-pro player and a professional pundit who, by the way, these people have more access to clubs, the managers, the board of directors than any fan channel. And yet they don't ever ask the questions to educate themselves further, to give us better views, to give us better insight. That, for me, is a madness. But I want your thoughts and feelings on this, people, in the comments section below. Now, moving on, I want to speak. About big Ange Postecoglou here. Watch this interview. Let's take a look at what he says. And I want to get your opinions on this in the comments section below.
Yeah, I think it's a key point when you lose a player in the first 20 minutes when you started well, especially a centre-back. So,
they did start well. They did start well.
He couldn't continue. So, that's not ideal.
It's the second time you've had a 2-goal lead. You did against Brighton. Are there any comparisons to be made between the two? You said last time against Bournemouth that perhaps your team were giving them a leg up. Can you see again any similarities between this midweek performance and today as well?
No, nothing. Absolutely zero with midweek. We didn't play well at all midweek, but we played well today. They're a good side.
Whoa, we've got to stop this. First of all, I think this man looks broken. Head down, no eye contact. I get he's lost, so I don't expect to see him smiling or bouncing off the walls, but the man looks broken. I feel like Levy and co have broken him. On top of that, he is chatting a little bit of the proverbial BS. Yes, you were awful against Bournemouth from start to finish. You missed some chances, but overall, awful from start to finish. Today, you started well in the opening 15 minutes. From that point, from Jadon Sancho's spectacular goal until the final whistle, you were also awful. So there are similarities. You look at the Brighton game, which was then ignored, identical. 2-0 up, not able to shut the game down. Did it brilliantly against Man City. Maybe it's the fear factor that City pose on teams and let's be more compact, let's be hard to break down, let's be resolute. City were also going for a terrible run themselves. But they have not been great. And as much as Levy and co are the root cause problem at this football club, they are. Big Ange is not devoid of criticism. And his inability to get to adapt his system is crazy. And I think Jamie Carragher gave a really good analogy yesterday that you might like wearing T-shirts and shorts and flip-flops or sandals, whatever he said. But there are certain times of the year where you've got to put on a pair of jeans, you've got to put on a jacket, you've got to wear a waterproof coat, a hat and gloves and a scarf because it's freezing. The same goes for football. Unless you have a superior team and squad, You have to adapt on a regular basis to be successful in the Premier League. And he doesn't do that. But where I hold Levy and co accountable is they should be insisting on that. And if Ange isn't the guy to do it, he has to go. Or in fact, he should never have been employed in the first place. You can't be Tottenham with the squad you have and employ a manager who only wants to play and can only play in one particular way. Maybe two at a push. There has to be adaptation. There has to be the ability to change. If he was at Man City, if he was in Germany and he was managing Bayern Munich, if he was back at Celtic, if he was at Barcelona or Real Madrid, he could probably get away with this, by and large, most weeks. You can't in the Prem at a club like Tottenham. It is as simple and it's as straightforward as that. And there's so much about Big Ange that I like. People think I don't. I do. I actually want in my heart of hearts, I'd love to see Tottenham do well for my dad. I really would. I don't think sacking Big Ange fixes them in itself. I think that's a ridiculous train of thought to have. They need better players. They need a change of ownership. The problem they have, like my beloved Man United, I don't think the fans are willing to do enough. And a little protest here, a little booing in the stadium, none of this is actually going to make the wholesale changes that are needed. Sacrifice is needed. Falling, metaphorically, of course, upon your own sword is needed. And typically speaking, us English people, we don't have the stomach for that. I ain't giving up my seat. I might not get it back again. That's the mindset that's going on here. So for Spurs, do I see him getting off this hamster wheel? No, I do not. But as ever, look, I want to get your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions on this. Leave them now in the comment section below. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.